Ryan,
Um,
I wanted to ask you, just
yeah,
insert here. Don't want to screw with your train of thought
no,
here.
fine, no, no, go
But,
ahead.
since, during my introduction, as we talked before, that, you took this approach from the very beginning as an immersive approach, did that in any way change the way you recorded the instruments in
Yeah, it did.
mic placements and so on? And talking about drums, did that impact the way you did the drums?
Yeah, it seriously impacted the way I did the drums because when you have somebody who's as good as Ferroni, you can ask him to do things like, "Hey, Steve, don't play any crash cymbals. We'll put them on a separate track." So, or maybe it could be even sometimes we would overdub tom fills, and I wanted them on separate tracks because basically you have with like if you're doing crash overdub, for example, you've got the mics over the crash cymbals. Then you've got room mics. So then you've got four tracks you can play with, and that means that in an immersive mix, the crash cymbals are not glued to the
Right.
drum kit.
Yeah.
You can move them somewhere else in space. You can do tom tom overdubs. So you have to. I thought of this stuff, a lot of it as kind of a modular thing. The other thing I'm reason about putting crash cymbals as an overdub is that I use the room mics a lot, and a lot of the sound of the drums and a lot of the power of the drums in immersive comes from having those room mics behind you, and it puts you in that room with the drums. Every time you hit a room mic with a cymbal, it kills it. It's just too loud.
Mm.
That's something I learned on there's the Tom Petty track. You know the original one from You Don't Know How It Feels from Wildflowers. They really liked the sound of the drums, and every time Steve would hit a cymbal, they said, "Oh, that's too loud. We'll overdub it." Well, if you listen to that record, there's no cymbals on that record. It's just boom boom bot boom boom bot, and that's what makes that record so amazing. It's just kind of acousticy, kind of ballad, kind of folky kind of song, but it's got this killer drum beat. So I kind of wanted to replicate that, and get that power. So that allowed me to do that.